When I ask you if you'd go to jail for a Filipina, on the surface of it sounds a really stupid question. But the reality is that thousands of foreign guys are risking this very thing for their Filipina, and many don't even realise it. For many of you, this could be one of the most important videos you ever watch, as it could save you the shock of landing in a Filipino jail for possibly several years. So if you're considering a relationship with a Filipina, or are already in a relationship with a Filipina, then for your sake, you won't want to miss this very important video. So be sure to buckle up and stay with me here. Just quickly, if you're looking to find a Filipina online but have never had good success, then be sure to check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment to the Philippines' #1 dating site, where you can create a free account in minutes and view tens of thousands of beautiful Filipina profiles. I can assure you that you'll find a genuine Filipina with far less stress and worry than you'll have on other Filipina dating sites. Just click the link in the pinned comment and you're on your way. Now, what I'm going to tell you here is not to scare you off from finding a woman from the Philippines to be in a serious relationship with, because the truth is, many genuine Filipinas make wonderful, lifelong partners. But more so you're aware of what can happen when in a foreign country to inexperienced and even perhaps naive foreigners who are not aware of the laws in such a country. To many of us foreigners, we may see some or even many of the laws in the Philippines as outdated, to put it nicely. But the fact is, it's their country and not yours. As such, we as visitors to their country need to respect all their laws, no matter how outdated they may seem. The bottom line is, if you're in the Philippines and you break any laws, whether you're aware of those laws or not, then you can be charged, and saying that you had no idea what you were doing was against the law is certainly no defence. One must know that there are so many foreign guys who are all too keen to enter into a relationship with a beautiful, vibrant Filipina without first checking out the local laws. Look at it this way. When we're dating in our country, we just start seeing the woman and never think much else of it. We may ask her if she's single, married or separated, and then go on to continue this new relationship. Yes, some will, even if she's currently married. But my point here is that in your country you won't be thrown into jail for dating and sleeping with any woman who mutually agrees to that relationship, no matter how sordid some may view it. You must know and pay attention here that in the Philippines there are laws that they take rather seriously around adultery. Yes indeed, in the Philippines adultery is real, just as they have no divorce in the Philippines, with a few exceptions which I won't go into in this video. Now, if you find a Filipina online and you decide you want to go and meet her in the Philippines, how are you going to know if she's ever been married or if she's free to marry? And if you're someone whose first thought right here is that it's no big deal, then think again and do a Google search for foreign men thrown into Philippines jail for adultery. I assure you, this is a real thing. Are you going to just rely on your new Filipina girlfriend's word for it that she isn't married, or for that matter, never married? Because as there is no divorce in the Philippines, it doesn't matter if she's been separated for 20 years. She's still considered as a married woman in that country. And if you come into that country and are in a romantic relationship with her, that's where you can find yourself in some very hot water and be thrown into jail for a couple of years while waiting for the trial to even start. And then if found guilty, a sentence of around 6 or 7 years may be imposed, all because you either weren't aware of such laws or you plainly disregarded them, thinking it wouldn't happen to you. Well, you may be right that many such guys may indeed get away with this, but we do know from time to time foreign guys land in jail from this very thing. So I assure you, it is very real. But if you want to risk it, then knock your socks off. Just don't cry about it when you're sitting in a rat-infested cell. As I said at the start of this video, this is not to scare you off from finding a Filipina, but more so to make sure that you go about it the right and safe way. That's what my whole channel is all about. So do we just ask a Filipina, no matter how long we've known her for, whether online or in person, if she's married? No, we don't. Well, I should say we can, but we just don't believe that her answer she gives us is correct. Now you notice I use the word correct and not lying, and that's because some Filipinas who've been separated from their husband for more than 5 years seem to think they're legally separated. Whilst that may or may not be the case, because I'm certainly no Filipino lawyer, the fact is that under Filipino law, she's still married, unless of course she was widowed or falls under one of those few rare categories that allow divorce. But you see, my point here is that no matter how certain or believable she may seem, you can't risk believing her 100%, as the stakes are far too high. So you may say, if I can't believe her, then what's the point of being in a relationship with her? And how do you find out for sure if she's actually single? Well, the point of being in a relationship with her is because many Filipinas are truthful, and they can make wonderful, loving partners. How do we find out if she's a single woman in the eyes of the Philippines government? Well, we do this by having her complete a CENAMAR, which is a certificate of no marriage. This is an official document that only costs around $7 and takes a couple of weeks after lodgement to have returned. Your Filipina can do this either in person to the Philippine Statistics Authority or do it online if she has access to the internet and computer. I'll put a link to the PSA in the description of this video. She'll also need to provide various official government documents and IDs at the time of lodgement. Now, a word of warning here. Don't accept a CENAMAR that's more than a few months old. In fact, for peace of mind, I wouldn't accept one more than a few weeks old. And if the Filipina is upset by your request for her to obtain such a document, or she continually stalls and makes up excuses, then you'll know something isn't right here. I'd even suggest that a month before you plan to meet her in the Philippines, that you make sure that you've seen the document, and when you land in the Philippines, ask to have another look at it just to make sure that it isn't original and hasn't been tampered with in any way. I know it all sounds a little extreme, but it will give you peace of mind, and a genuine Filipina who has nothing to hide will certainly understand this and shall be more than happy to provide you with the CENAMAR. After you see she is a single woman, then knock your socks off and get to know one another without any worries or concerns. Personally, I could think of nothing worse than wondering if the police were going to come through the door at any given time to throw me in jail. And let's remember here, this is not just about protecting you, it's also about protecting the Filipina, because it's very possible if you were to get charged for what they call concubinage, then she'll also be charged with adultery, each of which carries a sentence up to 7 years in prison. So do yourself and your Filipina a good service and be sure before you guys get together in the Philippines, so you won't be the next foreign guy we see on the news being thrown into a Filipino jail for adultery. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and be sure to comment and share the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.